Okechi, come here now. He ran up quickly. What happened? She pointed at the baby room wall. The paint color is wrong. He frowned slightly. Wrong? But you chose the color. I changed my mind, she shouted. The baby wants another color. What color? He asked softly. Pink and white stripes, she said. And glitter. The one must have glitter. He nodded again. Okay, I'll call painters. Good, she replied. Do not annoy the baby. Once upon a time, there was a peaceful and beautiful town called Obede. People loved to visit Obede because the place looked calm, bright, and full of life. The houses in Obede were painted in many lovely colors: yellow, white, blue, and even soft pink. Some houses were big, some were small, but all of them looked neat and well arranged. The roads in Obede were smooth, wide, and clean. Cars would move freely without potholes or dust. Flowers grew on the sides of the roads, and birds sang on the trees every morning. In this beautiful town lived a young man named Okechi. Everyone in Obede knew him as a hardworking and gentleman. He was the only child of his parents, and because his parents loved him so much, they raised him with great care. His father taught him how to be responsible, and his mother taught him how to be kind and respectful. Growing up as an only child was not always easy for him. Sometimes he wished he had a brother or sister to play with, but his parents tried their best to make him feel happy. They bought him books, toys, and clothes, and they always prayed for him to succeed in life. When Okechi finished school, he began to look for a job. His parents prayed for him every day, asking God to open doors for their son. One day, he finally got a good job in a faraway city. The job was promising, and it gave him hope for a better future. Even though he loved his parents very much, he knew he had to move far away so he could work and become successful. The day he told his parents about the job, his mother hugged him tightly and said, "My son, I am happy for you. Go and make us proud. Work hard. And remember that we love you always." His father placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "This is your chance. Do not be afraid. Go and show the world what you can do." Okechi smiled and promised them, "I will not disappoint you. I will work hard and come back one day with good news." So, he packed his clothes, his documents, and a few things his mother gave him for comfort. Before he left, his parents stood at the door waving at him. His mother cried small tears of joy and sadness mixed together. She was proud of him, but she knew she would miss him so much. Now, living in the new city, far away from his parents, was not easy at first. Everything felt difficult. The people, the roads, the weather, and even the neighborhood. But Okechi told himself, "I must be strong. I came here to work. I cannot give up." The company that hired him was big and well organized. They liked him immediately because he was polite and hardworking. He arrived early to work, he listened carefully, he did his tasks well, and he treated everyone with respect. Soon, people in the company started saying good things about him. One colleague told the other, "That new guy, Okechi, is very serious with his work. He will go far." Another person said, "Yes, he is humble and always focused. He will succeed." Little by little, the company began promoting him. He earned more money and he used it wisely. He sent money to his parents to support them. He saved some for the future, and he took care of his daily needs. He did not waste money or show off. After some time, his life became better. He rented a beautiful apartment, a clean and comfortable place with wide windows and enough space for him to relax after work. The living room was simple but neat. The bedroom was cozy and peaceful. He loved the apartment because it made him feel like he was truly growing into life. He also bought a beautiful car. It was not the most expensive car in the world, but it was clean, shiny, and strong. Whenever he drove around the city, people admired the way he kept his car neat. Sometimes, as he drove past children playing by the roadside, they pointed and said, "Look at that fine car," and smiled. He always smiled back. Even though he lived far from his parents, he called them often. One evening, his mother asked him on the phone, "My son, how are you eating? Are you taking care of yourself at all?" He laughed softly and said, "Mama, I'm fine. I eat well, I rest well, and I work hard. How are you and Papa?" "We are fine," she replied. "We miss you, but we are happy you are doing well." His father's voice came from the background saying, "Keep doing your best, son." These calls warmed his heart. They made him feel close to home, even though he was far away. Sometimes, after work, he would sit in his living room and think about how far he had come. He whispered to himself one night, "Life can change quickly. Not long ago, I was searching for a job. Now, I live in a beautiful home and drive a good car. I must stay grateful." He did not have many friends because he was careful about the kind of people he allowed into his life. Most evenings, he preferred to stay home, cook something simple, watch a movie or read a book. On weekends, he washed his car, cleaned his apartment, and prepared for the new week. His neighbors respected him. They often greeted him warmly whenever they saw him. A friendly neighbor once said, "Good evening, Mr. Okechi. You always look calm and focused. Keep it up." And he replied with a smile, "Thank you. I try my best." He was gentle, easygoing, and always ready to help when someone needed assistance. One day, an elderly neighbor had trouble carrying heavy bag from her car. She stood outside looking tired. Without hesitation, Okechi walked towards her and said, "Ma, let me help you carry that." The woman smiled in relief. "Thank you very much, young man. God bless you." He carried the bag upstairs for her and made sure she was fine before leaving. Acts like this made people trust and admire him. Even at work, his boss noticed his good behavior. One afternoon, the boss called him into the office and said, "Young man, you're doing well. Keep this up and you will rise very fast in this company." "Thank you, sir," he replied respectfully. Because of his humility and honesty, people believed he would become great in life. During his quiet moments, he sometimes missed home. He missed the warm smell of his mother's cooking and his father's wise advice. But he reminded himself, "I left home for a reason. I came here to build my future." Whenever he felt lonely, he took a walk around his peaceful neighborhood. The street lights shone softly at night and the air was cool. He loved seeing families laughing together, children riding bicycles, and couples taking evening walks. This sight gave him hope and made him dream of a good future for himself someday. He also thought about what his parents always told him while growing up. "Be focused, be patient, be strong. Your future is bright." With those words in his heart, he kept moving forward. Time passed, and his life continued to improve. His salary increased, his savings grew, and he became more stable and confident. Other workers in the company sometimes asked for his advice because they respected his calm nature. One afternoon, a new worker approached him and said, "Please, I'm finding it hard to understand this task. Can you help me?" "Of course," he answered kindly, and he explained everything step by step until the person understood. The new worker smiled with relief. "Thank you so much. You made it very easy." "No problem," he replied. "We all learn every day." Moments like this made him feel fulfilled. Sometimes, he sat in his apartment and looked around with gratitude. The walls were painted a soft cream color. The curtains were clean. His dining table was simple but neat. And everything was organized. He liked order, and he made sure his home always looked good. He often stood by his window at night, looking at the town lights far below. Cars passed slowly on the quiet road, and the moon shone brightly in the sky. He would gently whisper, "I thank God for everything." Even though he was doing well, he lived a simple life. He did not show off or behave proudly. He remembered the struggles he faced before getting the job. So he remained humble. One Saturday morning, he washed his car slowly while listening to soft music. A young boy from the neighborhood stopped and watched. Uncle, your car is very fine, the boy said shyly. Okechi smiled warmly and replied, Thank you. The boy asked, How did you get such a nice car? He paused for a moment and said, I worked hard, saved money, and waited for the right time. If you work hard too, you can also get anything you want. The boy nodded happily and ran off. This made Okechi smile. He believed in inspiring others. Whenever he visited the supermarket, the workers recognized him as the polite young man who never caused trouble. He greeted them nicely, paid for his items without argument, and always said, Have a good day. One of the cashiers told a colleague, I like that man. He behaves like someone with a good heart. Life was peaceful for him. He felt proud of how far he had come. Every night, he prayed for strength, guidance, and protection. He wanted to continue growing and making his parents proud. Even though he lived alone, he did not feel empty. He had work, dreams, goals, and hope. His journey was just beginning, and he knew greater things were still ahead. Many times, when he lay on his bed at night, he thought about the road he had traveled, finding a job and building his life step by step. He knew he still had a long way to go, but he was not afraid. I will make it, he whispered to himself. I will keep moving forward. And so, in the beautiful town of Obede, with its smooth roads and lovely houses, the young man named Okechi continued living his life peacefully. He had a good job, a beautiful apartment, and a fine car. He was focused, grateful, and for whatever life would bring next. He did not know what the future held for him yet. He did not know that more challenges and more blessings were on the way, but for now, his life was calm, stable, and full of promise. Years passed. His parents, especially his mother, disturbed him to get a wife when he clocked 30. They talked about it almost every time he visited them or called them on the phone. His mother believed strongly that a man should marry early. She believed that once a man had a stable job and a comfortable home, the next thing he needed was a good woman to build a family with. His father also wanted him to marry, but his father was more gentle about it. His mother, however, reminded him as if it were a personal duty. Sometimes, she would call him early in the morning and say, My son, good morning. I hope you slept well. Remember what I told you? You are 30 now. You are not getting younger. You need a wife. And he would laugh softly and say, Mama, I've heard you. Please calm down. I will marry when I find the right person. But his mother never got tired of saying it. One afternoon, she called him again and said, Okechi, listen to me. When you were a little boy, you told me you wanted to grow up fast so you could have a wife and children. Now you have grown. What are you waiting for? Your mates already have families. Please do not delay. He sighed gently but continued smiling so she would not think he was angry. Mama, I know, but I cannot just pick anyone. I must marry someone I understand, someone I can build with, someone who has sense, someone who has peace. She replied quickly, And do you think such a woman will fall from the sky? You must go out, meet people, attend programs, meet ladies. You cannot marry if you hide yourself inside your work every day. He rubbed his forehead and said playfully, Mama, you are troubling me too much. I will continue to trouble you until you give me a daughter-in-law. She answered sharply but lovingly. Even your father is waiting. He may not talk like me, but he's also thinking about it. When he visited home, his mother would whisper into his ear while serving food, Okechi, I want to carry my grandchildren while I'm still strong. Do not wait until I'm using walking stick. Sometimes, she will look at him the way mothers do when they are not fully satisfied. She will shake her head slowly and say, You are doing well in life. You have a good job. You live in a beautiful house. You have a fine car. What is missing now? Only a wife. A good wife, that's all. His father will sit on the chair reading newspaper and say softly, Listen to your mother, Okechi. A woman brings balance to a man's life. But take your time, pray well, choose wisely. His mother would quickly add, But do not take too much time. Okechi, do not take too much time. These conversations became part of his life. Even when he called to greet his parents in the evening, the talk always returned to the same topic. How was your day, Mama? He would ask. My day was fine, she would answer. But it will be better when you bring a woman home. He always laughed, but he understood that they were speaking from love. They wanted the best for him. They wanted him to have a family, someone to share his life with, someone who would support him and love him. Deep inside, he also knew that one day he wanted to marry, but he did not want to rush. He prayed sometimes in his heart, God, when the right woman comes, let me know. Let me feel peace. Life continued like that, his mother reminding him at every opportunity and him trying to calm her down gently. Then one day, something changed. He attended a conference organized by his company and other companies in the industry. The conference was held in a large hall inside a beautiful hotel. There were chairs arranged in long rows, banners hanging on the walls, and people greeting each other politely. The air smelled of perfume, new pepper, and fresh air from air conditioners. Many professionals attended the event, men and women dressed neatly, holding notebooks, laptops, and name tags. There were speakers who stood on stage to talk about business, growth, discipline, and career development. He took his seat quietly and listened to the speakers. He was not looking for anything special that day. He only came to learn and represent his company. He planned to sit, listen, take notes, clap when necessary, and go home. But something unexpected happened. During the break session, when the people stood up to stretch and get snacks, he walked to the refreshment table to get a bottle of water. As he reached out to pick one, his hand accidentally touched another person's hand, reaching for the same bottle. He looked up to apologize. That was when he saw her. A beautiful lady with a sparkling smile. A smile so bright it could melt away stress. Her eyes were warm and friendly. Her dress was simple but elegant, and she stood with confidence. Her smile was the first thing he noticed, and it stayed in his mind like a soft light. Oh, I'm sorry, he said politely. She laughed gently, a soft laugh that sounded clean and sweet. No, it's okay. I think we both wanted the same bottle. He smiled back and said, please, you can take it. No, no, she replied, shaking her head. You touched it first, you take it. He insisted, ladies first. She smiled again, and this time her smile deepened, making her face shine even more beautifully. All right, thank you. She took the bottle, opened it gently, and took a sip. Then, she looked at him again and said, my name is Anita. He answered, I'm Okechi. Nice to meet you, Anita. Nice to meet you too, Okechi, she said, tilting her head slightly with grace. For a few seconds, they simply stood there, smiling politely, unsure of what to say next. People around them walked by, talking loudly, laughing and discussing the conference topics. But in that moment, it felt like only the two of them existed in that small space. He finally asked, are you enjoying the conference so far? She nodded. Yes, I am. I think the speakers are doing a good job. I'm learning a lot. What about you? I feel the same, he replied softly. It has been a good experience so far. She took another sip of her water and said, you seem like someone who takes his work seriously. He chuckled lightly. I try my best. Well, that's good, she said. Hardworking people always go far. He felt a calmness around her, something smooth and easy. Her voice was gentle, her words clear, and her smile still bright like morning sunshine. There was a moment of silence again, but this silence was comfortable, not awkward. Then he asked, do you attend conferences often? Not really, he answered, but I came for this one because my company wanted me to learn something new. She nodded lightly. Same here. They spoke for a few more minutes about work, life, and the event. Her tone was lively, and she carried herself in a cheerful way that made the conversation flow naturally. As the break was ending, others began returning to their seats. She looked around and said, I think the next session is about to begin. Yes, he said, we should go in. She hesitated for a moment, then smiled shyly and said, do you mind if we exchange numbers? Maybe we can continue this conversation later. He felt a soft surprise, but a pleasant one. Yes, of course, he replied. She handed him her phone. He typed his number and returned the phone. Then he gave her his phone and she typed her number too. When she returned the phone to him, she said, "I'm glad we met." "I'm glad too," he replied. They walked back into the hall together. But when they reached the door, they went to their different seats. Before she sat down, she looked back at him with that sparkling smile, and he smiled back politely. As the conference continued, he found himself thinking about her smile, her gentle voice, the way she laughed softly, and the way she spoke with confidence. He did not know why, but she stayed in his mind like a bright picture. When the conference ended later in the afternoon, people began leaving. He expected to meet her again at the exit, but she left quickly because she had someone waiting for her outside. Before leaving, she waved at him from a distance and he waved back. On his way home, he kept replaying their short meeting in his mind. He did not know what would happen next. He did not know if she would call or if he should call her first. He only knew that he had met someone interesting, someone with a sparkling smile that could brighten even a serious conference hall. And that was how they greeted each other and exchanged numbers. They started talking and hanging out. From the first day they exchanged numbers at the conference, something changed in the way they communicated. At first, they only sent short messages to check on each other. Anita would send a message like, "Good morning, hope you slept well." And he would reply, "Yes, I did. He also slept well." But slowly, the messages became longer. They talked more often. They laughed more. They shared stories about their day. They shared their dreams, their plans, their goals. They talked like two people who were slowly becoming comfortable with each other. One day, Anita called him around 8 p.m. Her voice sounded cheerful. "Hi, Okechi. Are you busy?" "No, I just finished eating," he replied. "How are you?" "I'm fine," she said with a soft laugh. "I was thinking about today. My office was so stressful. I needed someone to talk to." He smiled even though she couldn't see him. "You can always talk to me." "That's why I called," she said. "Talking to you makes me feel lighter." The conversation lasted for hours sometimes. They talked about work, family life, and simple things that made them laugh. With time, they started spending time together in person. Sometimes they went to a restaurant. Sometimes they walked in a quiet park. Sometimes they sat in his car and talked for long hours without realizing how much time had passed. One Saturday afternoon, they decided to meet at a small cafe. When Anita arrived, she wore a bright dress with shiny earrings and a small handbag that sparkled under the sunlight. She looked happy and confident as she walked toward him. "Hi, handsome," she greeted playfully. He smiled. "Hi, Anita. You look beautiful today." She laughed softly. "Thank you. I always try." They sat down and ordered drinks. As they talked, Anita played with her hair and smiled at almost everything he said. She enjoyed attention, she enjoyed admiration, and she enjoyed looking good. When she spoke with energy. "I love beautiful things," she said one day as she admired her shiny bracelet. "I love nice clothes, beautiful handbags, good perfumes. Life is too short to look dull." He nodded gently. "It's good to like good things." She chuckled lightly. "Not just good things, flashy things. I like things that stand out." He smiled politely. He was not naturally flashy, but he didn't judge her. He believed that everyone had their own lifestyle and preferences. As they spent more time together, he began to see more of her personality. Anita enjoyed luxury. She liked fine restaurants, expensive hair, designer handbags, and things that sparkled. Whenever they went out, she always wanted to take pictures. She wanted people to see her shine. "Take my picture," she would say, handing her phone to him. He would stand, find a good angle, and take the photo. She would look at the picture and smile proudly. "Perfect. I look amazing." "Yes, you do," he always replied kindly. Their connection grew stronger. Anita enjoyed the way he treated her, calm, gentle, and respectful. He enjoyed her energy and confidence. They balanced each other in a strange way. They continued talking every day, and their friendship turned into something more serious. One evening, they sat in his living room watching a movie. Anita rested her head on his shoulder and said softly, "You know, I feel very comfortable with you." He looked at her with gentle eyes. "I feel the same." She lifted her head slowly and looked back into his eyes. "So, what are we? What are we now?" Took a deep breath. It was a question he had been thinking about. He held her hand and said, "Anita, I like you. I really do. I want us to be more than friends. Her eyes brightened immediately. More like what? He smiled, feeling a little shy. More like a couple. She smiled widely. I like you too, Okichi. I've been waiting for you to say something. He laughed softly in relief. So, are we together now? Yes, she said with excitement. We are. Their relationship officially began that night. Over the next few months, they spent even more time together. They went on dates, exchanged gifts, and took pictures together. Anita always wanted things that looked glamorous. One day he said, I want us to take pictures in a nice place, maybe a fancy hotel lobby. I want something classy. He laughed gently. Anywhere you want is fine. She liked that he never argued when she asked for something. She liked that he wanted to please her. She liked feeling special and adored. Their relationship continued to grow. Then one afternoon, while they were eating at a quiet restaurant, she looked at him with a serious expression and said, So, when are you going to propose to me? The question shocked him slightly. He dropped his spoon gently and stared at her. Propose? You mean marriage? Yes, she said plainly. We have been dating for months now. Your parents want you to get married. I'm ready. What are we waiting for? He was quiet for a moment. He didn't expect the question so soon, but he liked her and wanted a family someday. She leaned closer to him and said, I love you and I want to be with you. Don't think too much. He nodded slowly. I love you too. So, when will you propose? She asked again. He looked into her eyes and said softly, Soon, very soon. True to his words, some weeks later, he planned a simple but lovely proposal. He took her to a camp garden in a nice area of town. She wore a bright dress with shiny shoes, and she looked extremely happy. When he knelt down and said, Anita, will you marry me? She screamed joyfully and said, Yes, yes, of course, yes. She hugged him tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. She took pictures of the ring immediately and posted them online. Finally engaged, she wrote with excitement. After the engagement, things changed quickly. One evening, they sat together in his house, talking about their future. Anita suddenly said, I want to tell you something important. He looked at her curiously. What is it? She sighed, adjusted her hair, and sat upright. Now that we are engaged, I need you to understand something about me. I'm listening, he said kindly. She folded her arms gently and said, I don't want to work anymore. He blinked slowly, surprised. You mean you want to resign from your job? Yes, she said without hesitation. I want to be a full-time housewife. He tried to understand her clearly. Full-time housewife? But we don't have children yet. Anita waved her hand carelessly. Children or no children, I don't want to work. Working is stressful. I want to enjoy life. I want to focus on taking care of myself and our home. I want to be free. She swallowed gently. Okay, but how will you take care of your needs if you stop working? She smiled sweetly. That's where you come in. You take care of me. He shifted in his seat. Take care of you, how? She looked directly at him and said clearly, I want you to place me on a monthly salary. A salary? He repeated softly. Yes. She replied confidently. A monthly allowance, something comfortable. He rubbed his hand on his chin. How much are you talking about? Her voice became even more serious. At least 500k every month. He looked at her, unsure of what to say. 500,000 naira? Yes, she said again, this time smiling as if he had asked for something small. At least 500k. If you give me more, no problem. But 500k is the minimum. Nothing less. That's what I need every month to maintain myself. He remained silent for a few seconds. His mind tried to understand everything she had said. She wanted to stop working immediately. She wanted him to give her a monthly salary. She wanted a minimum of 500k. It was a lot, but he loved her. He believed that love meant sacrifice, and he believed that if he made her happy, their home would be peaceful. She touched his hand gently and said, Baby, don't overthink it. You can afford it. You have a good job. You live well. You can take care of me. He looked into her smiling eyes. She looked confident. Unsure of herself, she believed she deserved a luxurious life and she expected him to provide it. He nodded slowly. Okay, if that is what you want, I will do it. Anita jumped up excitedly and hugged him tightly. I knew you would say yes. You're such a good man. I love you. He smiled weakly. I love you too. She kissed him on the cheek and said happily, this is why I choose you. You understand me. You understand my needs. He didn't want to argue. He wanted to make her happy. He believed that agreeing would bring peace to the relationship. She continued excitedly. I'll resign from work this week. But by next month, you can start giving me the 500k salary or 600k or even 1 million if you want. I won't complain. He nodded again calmly. Okay. Her eyes glowed with satisfaction. Thank you, my love. You have made me so happy. After she moved in with him, every month he gave her over 500k, sometimes 1 million. When Anita finally brought her things and entered his house, she arrived with several bags full of clothes, handbags, shoes, perfumes, and many shiny accessories. She stood in the middle of the living room, looking around, smiling proudly, and said, so this is where I'll be living now. Nice place, very nice. Oketi smiled gently. I'm glad you like it. Oh, I like it, she said, pulling out her phone to record a short video. But I would like it more when we upgrade a few things. He laughed lightly. Upgrade what? She waved her hand carelessly. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later. She entered the bedroom and opened her bags. Clothes poured out like water. Different colors, different fabrics, different sizes. Shoes with high heels, flat shoes, shiny ones, soft ones. She arranged everything as if she were preparing for a fashion show. Do you like my things? She asked proudly. Yes, they look nice, he said. Of course, she replied. I don't use cheap things. Living with Anita was a new experience for him. Every morning she woke up, stretched and said, baby, I need money for this. Baby, I need money for that. She always needed something. Hair, nails, clothes, skincare products, and designer bags. At first, he thought she would ask for money in small amounts, but Anita's voice was never small when it came to money. One morning, she said, baby, I need money for my hair. How much? He asked. Maybe 120k, she said casually. He lifted his eyebrows slightly, but did not complain. He simply nodded and transferred the money. Later in the evening, she said, I also need something for makeup, some money. How much again? He asked softly. Just 80,000 naira. She replied, I need quality makeup. He nodded again and sent the money. He had promised her a monthly salary of 500k, but he found himself giving her even more. Sometimes he gave her 600k, sometimes 700k. On some months, she looked extra happy and he gave her 1 million just to make her smile. Whenever she received the money, she danced around the room, shaking her body happily and saying, I love you, baby. You're the best man in the whole world. He smiled at her joy. He believed that giving made her feel cared for, and he wanted her to feel loved and secure. But she spent money very fast. Within a few days of receiving money, she would come again and say, baby, the money has finished. He always asked gently, already? Yes, she replied without shame. Things are expensive. I also saw a nice shoe online. Very beautiful. I want it. He nodded and sent more money. Before long, people in her circle began to notice how well she lived. Her friends asked her, who is the man taking care of you like this? She would smile proudly and say, my husband-to-be. He works in a very good company. He loves me too much. She showed off her new hair, her new nails, her sparkling jewelry, and her fine dresses. She liked people to know she was living large. Okechi did not complain. He wanted to keep peace. He believed that love meant providing and protecting. Their relationship became stronger and they eventually decided to get married. When they told their families, there was excitement everywhere. His parents were happy that he finally found someone. Anita was also excited because she loved the idea of a grand wedding. I want our wedding to be big, she said one day while scrolling through pictures online. Very big. I want people to talk about it. He smiled. We can try. No, she insisted. We will not try. We'll do it well. I want a Wedding, like a wedding people will never forget. She made a long list of things she wanted: expensive hall, expensive food, a live band, beautiful decor, matching clothes for bridesmaid, luxurious cake with many layers, and photographers that cost a lot of money. When she showed him the list, he stared at it quietly. She tapped him lightly. Baby, don't look at it like that now, eh? It's our wedding. It must be special. I know, he said gently. It's just long. She laughed. It must be long now, eh? I want perfection. Her friends supported her fully. They said, this wedding must scatter the town. We must show everybody that you are getting married to a rich man. Whenever the wedding discussion started, Anita's eyes shone with excitement. I want horse entrance, she said one day. Yes, a white horse, or maybe a chariot, something dramatic. He blinked slowly. A horse? Yes, he said, laughing. Imagine me coming in a horse. People will shout. He did not argue. If that is what you want, we will try. Weeks passed, then months, and the wedding preparations continued. Anita called vendors every day: decorators, dressmakers, caterers, photographers, makeup artists. The house was always noisy with her voice saying, no, I don't like that color, use gold. No, I want the flowers bigger. No, the cake must have 7 layers, not 3. Even though the planning was stressful, the wedding day finally came. It was exactly what she wanted. People filled the hall. The decor shone with bright colors. Music played loudly. The food was plentiful. Guests wore their best outfits. Some people whispered, this wedding is big, oh, very big. Others said, this man really spent money. Anita looked like a queen in her wedding gown. She walked around smiling and greeting guests, happy that her dream wedding had come true. She liked the attention. She liked the compliment. She liked hearing people talk about how beautiful and expensive the wedding was. When she and Okechi danced into the reception hall, the crowd shouted and clapped loudly. Cameras flashed everywhere. Anita waved gracefully like a celebrity, and her friends screamed her name. Even the older women said, this wedding is the talk of town. They really tried. Okechi danced beside her, smiling. He was not as flashy as she was, but he enjoyed seeing her happy. He held her hand and whispered, I hope this day is everything you wanted. She smiled wildly. It is more than what I wanted. Thank you. After the wedding, they moved back into his flat. At first, Anita tried to settle in and enjoy married life, but her mind quickly moved to something else. One afternoon, just a week after the wedding, she walked around the flat slowly, looking at the walls, the kitchen, the living room, and the bedroom. She did not look pleased. What is wrong? He asked softly when he noticed her expression. Nothing, she replied, but her eyes continued roaming around with dissatisfaction. A few minutes later, she turned to him and said, baby, I think we need to talk. He nodded. Okay, what is it? She sat down, crossed her legs neatly and said, this flat is too small for us now. He looked around the room. Too small? It's comfortable. It is comfortable, she admitted, but not good enough. You are married now. We need something bigger, something finer, something that shows we are a couple with class. He rubbed his chin slowly. What are you suggesting? She smiled, excited. Let's move into a duplex. A duplex? He repeated calmly. Yes, she said happily. A big duplex with 2 living rooms, maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms, a big kitchen, a nice balcony, a place where guests will walk in and say, wow. He breathed in slowly. Anita, duplexes are expensive. I can't afford it. She quickly replied, but you can afford it. He did not speak immediately. He calculated silently in his mind. A duplex was luxury. A duplex cost a lot of money. But Anita was not someone who liked simple things. She loved flashy life. She loved big things. She loved luxury. She leaned forward, touched his arm and said, baby, this is not about me. This is about us. We are married now. We need to live in a place that matches our new life. You work hard. You deserve comfort. And I want to manage a home that looks beautiful. He sighed gently. How much how much are you thinking a duplex will cost per year? Because I can't afford buying one. Her smile widened. She already checked prices. She brought out her phone and opened the house listing. This one is nice, she said, showing him the screen. 10 million naira per year. His heart jumped slightly. 10 million? Yes. She replied as if the number was normal. Some are even 12 million, some are 20 million, 30 million. But this one is okay. I don't want to stress you. He looked at the pictures. The house was beautiful. 2 floors, big windows, white compound, shiny tiles, luxurious staircase, big bedrooms, modern kitchen. It was impressive, no doubt. He looked at her again. She was smiling with hope in her eyes, waiting for him to agree. Anita, he said softly, 10 million naira per year is a lot. I know, she replied, but you can handle it now. You always tell me you want me to be happy. This will make me happy. He swallowed, thinking deeply. She waited quietly for his answer. He finally said, okay, we will do it. Anita screamed in excitement and hugged him. Baby, I love you so much. Thank you. Within days, they contacted the agent. They inspected the house. Anita walked around the duplex like she already owned it. Every room she entered, she stretched her arms and said, yes, this is the life I want. She checked the balcony and smiled. I will take pictures here every morning. He followed her quietly, allowing her to enjoy the moment. The paperwork was completed, and before long, they moved into the beautiful duplex. The rent was up to 10 million naira per year, exactly like Anita wanted. Everything seemed fine for the first few months after they moved into the beautiful duplex. Life looked peaceful. The house was big, the compound was wide, the rooms were clean, and the environment was calm. Anyone who visited them said, wow, you people are enjoying life. Oh, this house is beautiful. Anita always smiled proudly and said, thank you, my husband wants the best for me. But behind the smiles, Okechi's parents were not fully happy. They had warned him from the beginning about marrying a girl like Anita. His mother had said, my son, be careful. That girl likes too much luxury. She likes flashy life. A woman who loves money too much can trouble a man. His father had also spoken quietly. Marriage is not just beauty and show. Marriage needs patience, humility, peace, and understanding. Think well, Okechi. But each time they advised him, he defended Anita. Mama, she's a nice girl. She has a good heart. She just likes good things. I will manage it, don't worry. His mother would shake her head and say, I hope you're right. He believed he was right. He believed love would solve everything. For a while, it looked like he was right. Anita laughed often, dressed beautifully, and behaved sweetly whenever guests came. She told people how kind her husband was and how he treated her like a queen. She liked showing people her new life. Then one day, everything changed. She became pregnant. At first, Okechi was extremely happy. He held the pregnancy test strip in his hand and said excitedly, Anita, you're pregnant. We're going to have a baby. She smiled lightly, placed a hand on her stomach and said, yes, baby, I am pregnant. He hugged her tightly, lifted her gently and spun her around the living room. Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much. This is the best news ever. He called his parents immediately. His mother screamed on the phone. Thank you, God. My son, I'm so happy. A baby, oh my God. His father said softly, this is a wonderful news. Take care of her. Pregnancy needs patience. Everyone was happy. But Anita's attitude changed in a way no one expected. Her behavior shifted slowly at first, like a quiet wave that turns into a big storm. Then, it grew worse every passing day. One morning, she sat at the dining table with a notebook in her hand. The notebook was thick, and he held a pen like someone preparing to write an exam. What are you writing? He asked gently as he walked towards her. She didn't look up. Baby list. Baby list? He repeated softly. Yes, she said, flipping a page. Everything the baby needs. He smiled. Okay, that's good. Not just good, she corrected. Important. Very important. He sat down beside her and watched as she wrote things non-stop. Baby bed, baby mattress, baby blanket, baby swimming tub, baby night lamp, baby shoes, baby clothes, baby diapers, baby storybooks, baby stroller, baby rocking chair, baby wardrobe, baby sofa, baby resting pillow, baby smart monitor, baby golden spoon, baby fancy plate, baby teddy bear. The list looked endless. After writing more than 4 pages, she looked at him seriously and said, "We must buy everything before the seventh month." He nodded, even though he was surprised by how long the list was. "Okay, we will buy them." "Not we," she corrected again. You will buy them. I cannot stress myself. I am pregnant." He nodded slowly. "All right." But the list continued growing every day. Sometimes she would call him from upstairs and say, "Baby, come here now." He would rush upstairs to find her sitting comfortably on the bed with her notebook. "I forgot to add something," she would say. "The baby needs a special blanket. It must be imported. I saw it online. It is expensive, but the baby deserves it." He would nod again. "Okay." She lived on lists. She wrote lists for morning, lists for afternoon, lists for night, list for the baby, list for the baby shoe, list for the baby clothes for 0 months, list for baby clothes for 3 months, list for baby clothes for 6 months. One day, he entered the room and saw baby clothes scattered everywhere. He asked gently, "What are you doing?" "Decorating the baby room," she replied confidently. "But the baby is not here yet," he said softly. He turned sharply. "And so what? Do you want the baby to enter the world without a beautiful room?" "I must prepare everything now, please." He nodded quickly. "Sorry, Anita, sorry." She continued arranging furniture and pointing here and there. "Move that shelf. No, not there. Put it in the corner. Move the baby wardrobe. Bring the rug. No, that rug is too dull. I want something brighter." He did all she said without complaint. At night, when he collapsed on the bed from exhaustion, she would suddenly sit up and say, "Baby, the baby wants suya." He blinked slowly. "Suya? At this time?" "Yes," she answered. "Suya and biscuits." He sat up quickly. "Both suya and biscuits?" "Yes, and also pepper soup and gala. The baby is hungry." "Pepper soup and gala together?" he asked softly. "Yes." "Are you questioning the baby's taste? Stand up and go." He stood up immediately. Okay, I'm going." He would drive out in the middle of the night, searching for suya spots, biscuit shop, gala, and sometimes rice and soup, depending on what she wanted that night. She said the baby demanded strange combinations, and he never tried to argue. When he returned with all the items, she ate small and said, "The baby is satisfied now, thank you." He would smile weakly and lie down again. But peace lasted only for a few minutes. Around 1 a.m., she would suddenly shake him aggressively. "Okechi, wake up!" He jumped up, scared. "What happened?" "The baby said you should stop sleeping." His eyes widened slowly. "The baby said what?" "The baby said you should not sleep," she repeated confidently. "The baby wants company." He rubbed his eyes tiredly. "But Anita, I have work tomorrow." "The baby doesn't care about your work," she shouted. "The baby wants you to stay awake." He sat up because he knew saying no would start a big fight. "Okay, I'm awake." "Good," she said proudly. "Now give me water." He gave her water. "Now fan me." He fanned her gently. "A little faster," she ordered. He fanned faster. "Now massage my legs." He massaged her legs. She lay back comfortably while he sat upright, fighting sleep. Sometimes his head would fall slightly, and she would shout again, "I said the baby doesn't want you to sleep." "I'm sorry," he replied weakly. This continued every night. He went to work every morning with red eyes, dark circles under his eyes, and a tired face. His colleague asked him, "Are you okay?" He forced a smile. "I'm fine, just tired." But the tiredness grew deeper every week. Anita demanded more strange foods. One night she said, "The baby wants ice cream and pepper soup and chin chin." He just nodded and went out, even though it was raining heavily. Another night she said, "The baby wants you to talk to her stomach." He knelt beside her and talked to the baby. "Hello baby, how are you?" "Louder," Anita shouted. "The baby cannot hear you." He raised his voice. "Hello baby, daddy loves you." She smiled proudly. "Good. Now sing for the baby." He sang softly. "No," she corrected. "Sing something lively." So he sang something lively. After singing, he tried to lie down, but she shook him. Where are you going? To sleep, Anita, he replied weakly. No, she said. The baby wants you to stay awake. He sighed deeply. Okay. He stayed awake again. Her attitude became worse every week. She blamed him for everything. If she dropped something, she shouted, You stressed me. That's why it fell. If she forgot something, she said, It's your fault. You don't care about me enough. He did not argue. He stayed calm because he didn't want her blood pressure to rise. He called his mother one day. Mama, pregnancy is hard. Be patient, she told him. Pregnant women are delicate. Please take care of her. He nodded, even though she couldn't see him. I'm trying. But Anita did not make things easy. One day she screamed upstairs, Okechi, come here now. He ran up quickly. What happened? She pointed at the baby room wall. The paint color is wrong. He frowned slightly. Wrong? But you chose the color. I changed my mind, she shouted. The baby wants another color. What color? He asked softly. Pink and white stripes, she said. And glitter. The one must have glitter. He nodded again. Okay, I'll call painters. Good, she replied. Do not annoy the baby. At another time, she said, the baby said the room is too quiet. Buy a sound machine that plays waterfall noise. He nodded. Okay. The baby also needs gold curtains, she added. Gold? He asked quietly. Yes, gold. The baby likes luxury. Everything the baby liked was expensive. Everything the baby wanted was unusual. Everything the baby said made no sense, but Anita insisted it came from the baby, and Okechi obeyed. His parents called again asking, How is Anita? He answered softly, She's fine, his father asked. And how are you? He paused. I am managing, his father sighed. Remember what we told you. He didn't reply. He didn't want to accept their warning. He loved Anita. He hoped things would get better after the baby came. He believed pregnancy hormones were the cause. He believed patience would make things normal again. But Anita's demands were increasing, not decreasing. One midnight, she woke him up again by tapping his head. Okechi, wake up. He jumped. Yes, what is it? The baby wants rice and soup. He checked the time. But everywhere is closed. Do I care? She shouted. Find it. The baby is hungry. He put on his clothes and left. When he returned 2 hours later with the food, she took 2 spoons and dropped the rest. The baby is satisfied, she said calmly. He wanted to cry from exhaustion but controlled himself. Another night he woke him again. Stand up. He sat up slowly. What now? The baby wants you to stop sleeping, she said. His eyes burned from tiredness. But Anita, I am very tired. She folded her arms. Do you want to offend the baby? No, he whispered. Then stay awake, she commanded. He stayed awake. Night after night, she woke him. Food after food. She demanded strange combinations. She blamed him for everything. She used pregnancy as a shield and never showed gratitude. Sometimes at work, Okechi slept off. His eyes were always heavy. His body was always weak. His mind felt tired all the time. The lack of sleep was slowly affecting him. But he still forced himself to work because he needed his job. Every night at home, Anita woke him up with one excuse or the other, saying the baby wanted one strange thing or the other. Every midnight, she disturbed him. Every dawn, his eyes were red and swollen. Every morning, he struggled to get ready for work. When he reached the office, he tried to act normal. He greeted everyone politely. He opened his laptop. He tried to focus, but within minutes, he started blinking heavily. His head felt heavy, like someone put a stone inside it. His body wanted to shut down. Sometimes his colleagues would see him sitting at his desk, staring at his computer screen, but his eyes were closed, without him even knowing. One day, one of his colleagues tapped him and said, Okechi, are you sure you are okay? He opened his eyes quickly, shocked. Yes, I'm fine. You were sleeping, the colleague said gently. No, he insisted weakly. I was just thinking. But the colleague shook his head softly. My brother, that was sleep. Another day, during a meeting, his boss was talking about a new project. Everyone was listening seriously. Okechi tried to pay attention, but his eyes began to close on their own. His head dropped slightly forward. He jerked awake suddenly when his pen fell from his hand. The boss turned and looked at him. Are you alright, Mr. Okechi? He quickly picked up the pen. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I didn't sleep well. The boss nodded but looked concerned. This is the second time this week. You need rest. Yes, sir. He replied quietly. But he knew he was not going to get rest at all. At all. At home, Anita's pregnancy behavior had gotten worse. Her demands increased every week. She expected him to do everything she wanted at any time of the day or night. She said it was the baby making the decisions. Whenever he complained, he shouted, Are you saying the baby is lying? Are you trying to stress the baby? Do you want something bad to happen? He would immediately shake his head and say, No, I don't want anything bad. I just want you to rest. But she never rested, and she never allowed him to rest. One day, Anita finally agreed that they needed a maid. She said she was too tired to clean the house, too tired to cook, too tired to wash plates, too tired to sweep, too tired to do anything. She said the baby needed her to relax. So they hired a maid, a young woman named Mary. Mary was polite and hardworking. She cleaned the floors, washed plates, washed clothes, cleaned the bathrooms, and made sure the house remained neat. On Mary's first day, she greeted politely. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. Anita nodded lightly and said, Make sure the house is clean. Do not stress me. I am pregnant. Yes, madam. Mary replied. At first, Mary's presence helped. The house stayed clean. Anita didn't need to bend down or move around too much. But after a few days, Anita's attitude changed again. One morning, Anita sat at the couch holding her stomach lightly. She called loudly, Mary, come here. Mary ran quickly. Yes, madam. Anita pointed at the floor. Sweep this place again. The baby says it's not clean enough. Mary looked confused but nodded. Okay, madam. As Mary swept, Anita shouted again. Not like that. Sweep slowly. The baby doesn't like noise. Mary slowed down. Later that afternoon, Mary was cleaning the stairs when Anita suddenly called. Mary, come now. Mary dropped the broom and ran down. Yes, madam, Anita said. The baby wants cold water. Go and get cold water for her. Yes, madam, Mary said and went to get it. But as the days passed, Anita became worse. One evening, when Mary was doing the dishes, Anita shouted again, Mary, come here. Mary stopped what she was doing and ran. Yes, madam. Anita sat on the couch stretching her legs. The baby wants that tall cup from the kitchen cabinet. Mary nodded. Okay, madam, I will bring it. But before Mary moved, Anita suddenly frowned and said, Wait, no. Baby says you shouldn't bring it. Mary stopped in confusion. Should I bring another one, madam? No, Anita said firmly. Baby says only the baby's father should bring it. Mary blinked. Sir? Anita nodded like she had made a major announcement. Yes, the baby said the father should do the chores. Baby said Mary should rest. Mary looked at her silently. Anita shouted, Okechi! He came out of the room tiredly. Yes? The baby wants you to go to the kitchen and bring the tall cup. He stared at her for a few seconds. The cup? But Mary is there already. Anita immediately shouted, Are you arguing with the baby? He shook his head quickly. No, I'm not arguing. Then go, she snapped. He went to the kitchen quietly and brought the cup. Mary stood there silently watching him. Anita took the cup and said proudly, Thank you, baby. The baby is happy. He nodded weakly. Okay. Later that night, after Mary went to her room, Anita said again, The baby said you should sweep the upstairs room. He looked at her tiredly. But Anita, we hired Mary to help. And she replied sharply, Does the baby know Mary? Does the baby know anything about hiring? The baby wants you to do it. You are the baby's daddy. He sighed deeply but picked up the broom and swept the upstairs room. Sometimes, he would try to sit down and rest after work, but Anita would shout from upstairs, Okechi, come here now. He would climb the stairs slowly, his legs shaking from tiredness. Yes, Anita. The baby said you should mop the floor. Mary mopped it earlier, but the baby said it is not clean enough. He nodded. Okay. And the baby also wants you to wipe the windows. She added. Okay, he replied again. And the baby wants you to arrange the clothes in the baby's wardrobe. She continued. He paused. But Anita, I just came back from work. She widened her eyes dramatically. Are you fighting the baby? No, he said immediately. I'm not fighting. Then do what the baby wants, she shouted. He obeyed. Mary often felt sorry for him. One day, She whispered softly, "Sir, please let me help you. I can mop." But he quickly shook his head. "No, if Anita hears, she will say I'm stressing the baby." Mary sighed. "I understand, sir." Another day, Mary saw him struggling to carry a bucket of water up the stairs because Anita said the baby wanted him to wash the baby room again. Mary stepped forward to assist, but Anita suddenly appeared and shouted, "Mary, stop! The baby said he should carry it alone." Mary stepped back quietly. Anita walked up to him and said proudly, "The baby wants its father to do house chores. The baby wants to see how responsible you are." He forced a smile. "Okay," but inside he was breaking. He woke up early for work. He got home late from work. He barely slept because Anita kept waking him up every night for something silly. On top of that, she forced him to do chores that Mary was hired to do. He was exhausted beyond explanation. One morning at work, he fell asleep again while typing an email. His head dropped on the keyboard. His boss walked past and stopped. "Okay, Chi," the boss said softly. He jumped up. "Sir, I'm sorry." The boss sighed. "This is becoming too much. Are you sick?" No, sir," he said weakly. "I'm just tired." "Why are you tired every day?" the boss asked gently. He looked down. "Personal matters, sir." The boss shook his head. "You must take care of yourself. You cannot work well like this." "Yes, sir," he said softly. But he knew that no matter how much he wanted rest, home would not give him rest. When he returned that evening, he tried to enter the living room quietly, hoping Anita had slept. But as soon as he stepped inside, she shouted from upstairs, "Okechi, come here now." He dropped his bag and climbed the stairs slowly. "Yes," he answered softly. Anita sat on the bed with a plate of half-eaten food beside her. He looked angry. "What happened?" he asked gently. "The baby is angry," she replied. "What happened to the baby?" He asked again. "The baby said the kitchen is not clean." She snapped. "But Mary cleaned the kitchen this afternoon," he said softly. "Baby doesn't believe that," she shouted. "The baby wants you to clean it yourself." "Okay, Anita, okay," he said quietly. "And the baby wants you to wash plates again." "Okay." "And the baby wants you to clean the fridge." "Okay." "And the baby wants you to arrange the pantry." "Okay." He walked silently downstairs to start cleaning again. Mary watched him from far away and shook her head sadly. Late that night, around 2 a.m., Anita shook him awake again. He opened his eyes slowly. "Anita, Ogini, what is it?" he whispered tiredly. "The baby wants tea," she said. He stood up immediately. "Okay." "And the baby wants toast bread," he added. He nodded. "Okay." "And the baby wants you to sing while preparing it." His eyes widened. "Sing?" "Yes," she said loudly. "Sing. Baby wants to hear your voice." He sang quietly while making the tea and toast. When he brought the food upstairs, she took one bite and dropped the rest. "The baby is satisfied," she said. He nodded and dragged himself back to bed. But before he closed his eyes, she tapped him again. "And the baby said he should not sleep. The baby said he wants you to watch over us." He opened his eyes weakly. "But Anita, I'm very, very tired," she snapped angrily. "So you want something bad to happen to the baby, eh?" He quickly shook his head. No, I don't want that." "Then stay awake," he shouted. He sat up, fighting sleep. Finally, it was 9 months and the baby was born. When the baby was born, he thought he would be relieved. For months, Okechi dreamed of the moment Anita would give birth. He believed that after all the stress, the sleepless nights, the strange cravings, and the endless chores that the baby wanted, things would finally calm down. He believed Anita would return to her normal self. He believed peace would finally enter their home. When he carried the newborn baby girl in his arms for the first time, tears filled his eyes. She was small, soft, and beautiful. Her tiny fingers wrapped around his thumb, and his heart melted. He whispered to her, "My little miracle, I will take care of you, I promise." The nurses congratulated both parents and handed them the baby carefully. Anita looked at the baby with a tired expression, but instead of joy, she looked more like someone who wanted to sleep immediately. She said weakly, "She's cute, I guess." Okechi smiled warmly. "She's beautiful." "Yes," Anita said, adjusting her hair. "I need rest now." He thought she was just tired from childbirth and doing Georgia. He believed she only needed time to recover. Since Anita's mom was late, They needed someone to help with the traditional support new mothers get, that is Omugo. So Okechi called his mother and said, Mama, the baby has arrived. Oh, Mom, thank God. His mother shouted joyfully. I am coming immediately. Get ready. I'll be there soon. When she arrived the next day, she ran into the house with excitement. Where's my granddaughter? Bring her to me. He gently placed the baby in his mother's arms. His mother smiled brightly, wiped her eyes and said, Thank you, God. Thank you. This child will bring joy. She carried the baby with love and care, the way an experienced grandmother would. She examined the baby's fingers, toes, and cheeks. She hummed a gentle song and she rocked her. She was overjoyed. But when she turned to congratulate Anita, she saw Anita lying down on the bed, scrolling through her phone. Anita, my daughter, how are you feeling? The older woman asked kindly. Anita sighed dramatically. I'm tired, very tired. I don't want anybody stressing me. Okechi's mom smiled softly. It is normal to feel tired after giving birth, but still, you need to bond with your baby. I need rest, Anita repeated firmly. Yes, rest is good, the older woman replied gently. But you still need to carry your baby sometimes. She must know your smell, your touch. Anita didn't even look up. Later, not now, please. The older woman exchanged a glance with her son, but she did not say anything. She only whispered, It is well. From that day on, everything concerning the baby fell into the hands of Okechi's mother. She did everything, bathing the baby, feeding the baby, carrying the baby, rocking the baby to sleep, washing baby's clothes, cleaning the baby's room, and even cleaning the whole house at times because the maid they hired left. Every morning, she woke up early. She warmed water, bathed the baby gently, and dressed her in soft clothes. She sang beautiful songs as she walked, songs that made the baby smile. Meanwhile, Anita stayed in bed for long hours or walked around the house complaining, I need more pillows, or my back hurts, or I want to sleep again. She never once offered to help. One morning, after bathing the baby, the grandmother went to Anita's room and said gently, My daughter, the baby needs breast milk. She has been taking formula, but breast milk is important, so please try to breastfeed her. Anita looked irritated. I said I need rest. My body is still weak. Just try, the older woman begged. The baby needs the mother's milk for strength, even if it is just twice or once a day. Anita waved her hand dismissively. Mama, please, I'm not ready. I don't want stress. I don't want my breast to fall. But breastfeeding will help the baby sleep better, the older woman continued softly. And it will help you heal too. Anita frowned. Mama, I don't want anybody forcing me. I am the one that gave birth. I know how I feel. The grandmother sighed deeply. I'm not forcing you. I'm only advising you. Anita rolled her eyes. Well, thank you for the advice. I am the mother here. I decide what the baby needs. The older woman looked at her son helplessly. He swallowed and said softly, Anita, maybe Mama is just trying to help. Anita snapped instantly. So now both of you want to control me? I said I am tired. No one is controlling you, he replied gently. We just want the best for the baby. Well, the best for the baby is for me to rest, she shouted. His mother held his hand and said, Leave her, my son. I will take care of the baby. And she did. Day after day, she woke early, handled the baby, fed her formula, rocked her to sleep, and kissed her forehead lovingly. The baby grew attached to her grandmother quickly because she was the one always there. One night, the baby cried loudly, and the grandmother jumped from her bed immediately. She rushed to the baby's room, carried her, and rocked her gently. Anita did not move. She kept sleeping, as if the crying baby did not exist. The older woman whispered to the baby, Hush, my little one. Grandma is here. She fed the baby, changed her diaper, and walked around the room until the child fell asleep again. Later that morning, she approached Anita once more. Please, try to carry your baby sometimes. She needs you. Anita groaned loudly. Mama, please, let me breathe. I need rest. Do you want me to collapse? The grandmother kept quiet. She did not want trouble. She simply went back to caring for the baby. She cooked meals for Anita, cleaned the house, helped with laundry, and still managed to carry the baby around all day. Anita barely lifted a finger. Whenever the grandmother tried to give Anita the baby to hold, Anita would say, No, I don't want her to cry in my ear. My head is already hurting. Just hold her for now. One afternoon, the baby started crying again. Anita shouted from inside her room, Mama, the baby is crying. The grandmother stopped what she was doing and rushed to the crying baby. She picked her up, rocked her, and seated her. Anita stood by the door watching but refused to help. She folded her arms and said, "She cries too much. I don't know how babies, I just don't know babies, they are this stressful." The grandmother looked at her carefully. They cry because they need something. Maybe hunger, maybe wet diaper, maybe they want comfort. Well, I cannot do it, Anita said simply. My body is still not strong, but you are her mother, the older woman said softly. She needs you too. That's why you are here now, Anita replied bluntly. You can help. The grandmother took a deep breath and nodded quietly. I'll manage. As days passed, the grandmother's heart broke. She loved the baby with all her soul, but she also wished Anita would show even a little interest in her child. But Anita seemed more concerned about her hair, her nails, her clothes, and her comfort than the baby's well-being. One day, the grandmother came into Anita's room and said gently, My daughter, please try to breastfeed, even if it's only once, eh? Anita sighed loudly. Mama, I told you, I don't want that. My breast hurts. Please, I don't want to spoil my shape. I don't want to stress myself. Please, oh. The older woman blinked, shocked. Breastfeeding does not spoil shape. Many women do it and are fine. Well, I don't want to, Anita snapped. So stop asking me. Please, just try. The grandmother started again, but Anita cut her off angrily. Mama, I'm warning you for the last time. Stop disturbing me. If I want to breastfeed, I'll do it. If I don't want to, leave me alone. The grandmother stepped back sadly. Okay, I'll not talk again. She turned and walked out of the room quietly, fighting tears. When she reached the living room, she sat down and whispered to herself, God, help this child. She needs a mother's touch. Meanwhile, the baby grew more attached to her grandmother. Whenever the grandmother entered the room, the baby smiled. When she carried her, the baby quieted quickly. When she sang to her, the baby relaxed peacefully. But Anita did not notice any of this. She spent her time watching movies, sleeping, doing her nails, applying makeup, and dressing in new clothes. She walked around the house as if she had no responsibilities. Sometimes, Okechi watched everything silently and felt pain in his heart. He approached his mother one evening and said softly, Mama, I thought things would get easier after the baby came. His mother squeezed his hand gently. My son, you need patience. You need strength too. He nodded weakly. I am trying. I know, she said. Do not give up. The baby needs you. He sighed deeply. Mama, Anita doesn't want to do anything. She will change, hopefully, the older woman whispered, though she wasn't sure. He looked at the baby sleeping peacefully in his mother's arms. I love this child so much. I know, she said, rubbing his arm. You are a good father. Anita did not join any conversation that involved responsibility. She did not ask about the baby's feeding schedule, sleeping pattern, or health. She simply said, Mama is here. Mama will handle everything. One afternoon, the grandmother tried again to involve Anita. She carried the baby into Anita's room and said, Here, hold her. Anita's eyes widened as if she saw something strange. Why? She's your daughter, the older woman said softly. Hold her. Let her feel her mother's touch. Anita shook her head quickly. I don't want her to cry on me. I'm tired. My body is weak. She will not cry, the grandmother said. I said I don't want to, Anita shouted. The grandmother stepped back, shocked at the loud reaction. Okechi heard the noise and ran into the room. What's happening? Anita pointed at his mother. She wants to force me to do things I don't want to do, the grandmother whispered. I only wanted her to touch her baby. Anita hissed. Please leave me alone. Okechi swallowed and said, It's okay, calm down. His mother left the room quietly with the baby in her arms. Later that night, she rocked the baby to sleep and whispered, Your mother will understand one day. I pray so. Days turned into weeks, and the grandmother handled every single detail of the baby's life, feeding, bathing, washing, comforting, and caring. Anita did nothing. Even when the baby cried loudly, Anita covered her ears and shouted, Mama, come and carry your granddaughter. She's disturbing my sleep. Okechi's mother never complained. She never shouted back. She only said, I am coming, and took the baby gently. She loved the baby enough to ignore Anita's harshness. She loved her son enough to avoid causing trouble. Anita simply continued saying she needed rest. She used rest as the reason for everything. She refused to do. She did nothing except lie down, eat, sleep, and take selfies. When his mom left after 3 months, all the responsibility fell on Okechi. His mother had stayed for as long as she could. She carried the baby, cooked meals, cleaned the house, washed clothes, sang lullabies, prayed for the family, and tried her best to keep everything together. But she also had her own home to return to. She had her own health to consider. She had her own life to manage. The morning she was leaving, she held the baby gently and kissed her tiny forehead. My little granddaughter, she whispered, God will protect you. God will guide you. You will grow healthy and strong. She turned to her son, her eyes soft and worried. My dear, please take care of this child. She needs you. Hmm? I need to go. My husband needs me. He nodded, trying to stay strong. I will, Mama. Thank you for everything. She then looked at Anita and said calmly, take care of your baby. Anita stretched her hand lazily and waved. Yes, Mama, safe journey. There was no warmth in her voice, no emotion, no sign that she cared about the grandmother leaving or the task ahead. She simply walked back toward her mirror and continued brushing her long wig. His mother stepped outside, climbed into the taxi that came to pick her, and waved one last time. Remember, my son, she said. God gives strength. You will manage. He forced a smile. I'll be fine, Mama. The taxi drove away. He felt something inside him sink. He knew that life was about to change again. He knew everything would fall on him now. He knew Anita wouldn't help. The house suddenly felt too big, too quiet, too empty except for the soft crying of the baby coming from the room. He rushed inside and carried her. It's okay, Miracle, he whispered gently. Daddy is here. Anita heard the crying, but didn't stand up. She didn't move. She only adjusted her wig and checked her reflection from side to side. Then she asked carefully, why is she crying? She wants to be carried, he replied softly. Anita murmured. She cries too much. Anyway, you handle it. She walked past him, grabbed her handbag and said, I'm going out. I won't stay long. He blinked in confusion. Out again? Yes, she said without shame. My friends are waiting. We want to check a new boutique that just opened. But Mama just left. He reminded her quietly. The baby needs attention. She's still very small. Anita rolled her eyes. Please don't stress me. I just gave birth. I need fresh air. She looked at the baby, then at her phone. I already called the nanny. She's coming today. You said you wanted help, Abby, so let the nanny help. He opened his mouth to speak but closed it again. Arguing with her would only lead to shouting. The nanny arrived that afternoon. She shook his hand respectfully and said, Good afternoon, sir. My name is Blessing. Welcome, he said politely. Please, the baby is inside. The nanny entered and gently lifted the baby. She's so pretty, she said with a smile. Anita walked down the stairs in a short, shiny dress, holding a golden handbag and wearing expensive shoes. She stood in the living room, posing as if someone was taking pictures of her. Do I look good? She asked. Okechi nodded. Yes. Of course I look good, she said proudly, not waiting for his answer. She turned to the nanny and said, Blessing, make sure the house is clean, feed the baby, change her clothes, carry her. I don't want noise. If she cries, do something. Don't disturb my peace. The nanny nodded politely. Yes, madam. Anita blew a kiss into the air and said, Bye, baby. Mommy loves you. I'll be back. She didn't even peek at the baby. When she closed the door behind her, silence filled the house again, broken only by the baby's soft sounds. The nanny looked at him and asked carefully, Sir, madam doesn't carry the baby. He looked down sadly. She said she needs rest. Blessing nodded slowly. She had worked in other houses before and understood without needing more explanation. The next few weeks were full of stress for him. Anita didn't care about the child. She didn't stay home. She didn't check on the baby. She didn't ask how the baby was feeding, sleeping, or breathing. She didn't even know the baby's schedule. She woke up in the morning, ate breakfast without carrying her child, dressed beautifully and said, Blessing, dress me. Blessing, where is my shoe? Blessing, check my bag. Blessing, iron my dress. When she finished, she would turn to Okechi, who was usually holding the baby, and say, Baby, I'm stepping out. He would ask, Where are you going to now? To the spa. She said, I need to do my nails. Or, I'm going to fix my hair. Or, I'm going to buy a new designer bag. Or, I'm meeting my friends. They want to flex around town. Sometimes, he asked gently, What about the baby? Don't you want to spend time with her? She answered carelessly, She has Blessing. What else do you want? Then, she left the house smelling of expensive perfume and wearing shiny shoes, designer handbags, new wigs, or the latest trending outfits. She spent hours in boutiques, salons, restaurants, and lounges. She took pictures, posted them online, and wrote captions like, "Fresh mommy enjoying life, soft life or nothing. Only luxury is allowed." She loved attention. She loved praise. She loved life outside the house more than anything inside it. When she came home, she didn't ask about the baby first. She asked, "What did you cook? I'm hungry." If he said he cooked, she said good. If he didn't cook because he was exhausted, she shouted, "So what do you expect me to eat? Eh?" Blessing often carried the baby while Anita relaxed on the sofa with her phone. One afternoon, the nanny approached Anita and said gently, "Madam, the baby is crying. Maybe she wants you." Anita waved her hand dismissively. "Carry her, please. I don't want to mess up my dress. I'm going out." Again, the nanny asked softly before she remembered it wasn't her place to question her boss. "Yes, again," Anita snapped. "My friends are waiting." She grabbed her new designer bag, a bright red one she bought that morning, and walked out without looking back. Blessing rocked the crying baby and whispered, "It's okay. Your mommy is busy." When it was time for Okechi to return from work, he rushed straight home because he always missed his baby. He loved her deeply. She gave him hope. She gave him strength. Every evening, he opened the door and Blessing handed the baby to him immediately. "Good evening, sir," Blessing said politely. "Good evening," he replied with a tired smile. "How is she?" She cried a little. She drank milk. I bathed her. I changed her diaper. But she was always looking toward the door, maybe waiting for you. He swallowed hard. "Thank you, Blessing." The nanny always ended her duty when he arrived and she retired for the day. Sometimes she looked at him with pity because she knew he was trying his best alone. After Blessing left, he carried the baby around the house, kissed her forehead, fed her, and sang to her. Anita was usually still outside flexing with her single friends, eating barbecue, taking pictures, visiting lounges, or shopping for things she didn't need. Sometimes she returned late at night and shouted from the living room, "Baby, I'm home!" He would whisper softly, "Please don't shout, the baby is sleeping." She rolled her eyes. Must the house be quiet because of one small baby? He didn't answer. He didn't want a fight. Sometimes she walked into the bedroom in a glittering gown and said proudly, "Look at my new dress. It cost 200,000. He was too tired to react. "Okay, you're not excited?" she asked sharply. "I'm just tired," he replied weakly. She said, frowning. "Maybe you should rest. You look stressed." But she never asked why he was stressed. She never helped him rest. She never tried to reduce his load. She simply sat down and showed him pictures on her phone. "See how fine I looked tonight. Look at my friend's car. Look at this new bag I want to buy." He smiled weakly because he didn't want trouble. Sometimes she returned home complaining, "My friend said I look stressed. I need new clothes. I need a new wig. I need spa treatment." He only said, "Okay." She didn't bother asking if he had money. She simply expected him to provide whatever she wanted. Meanwhile, he woke up early every day, prepared milk, changed diapers, packed his work bag, and left for the office with only a little sleep in his eyes. Sometimes, on his way out, he carried the baby for a few minutes, kissed her cheek, and said, "Daddy will come back soon. Be a good girl." Anita barely noticed. One morning, as he was leaving for work, he said gently, "Anita, please try to spend time with the baby today." She frowned. "I have a hair appointment." "We can move it," he suggested softly. She looked at him as if he said something absurd. "Move my hair appointment? Why? Do you know how long I have waited for this lot? Please, oh, don't stress me." He sighed. "Okay." Then she added proudly, "Besides, Blessing is here. That's why we hired her." But he knew deep inside that nothing could replace a mother's love. One afternoon, Blessing approached him carefully when Anita was not home. "Sir, I don't mean to talk too much, but the baby cries a lot whenever you leave. She's always calmer when you come back." He nodded sadly. "She's used to me." Blessing hesitated and added quietly, "Madam doesn't carry her at all. She doesn't even look at her." "I know," he whispered. "I feel sorry for you." The nanny said gently, "You are doing everything alone." He wiped a small tear quickly so she wouldn't see. "I'll be fine." Blessing continued, "Sir, you're a good father. I pray for strength for you." "Thank you," he said. Later that evening, he returned home tired as usual. Blessing handed her the baby and said, "Good night, sir." "Good night, Blessing. Thank you." He carried the baby, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "Daddy is home." She smiled in her sleep, and he felt a small light inside his chest. Meanwhile, Anita was at a friend's birthday party, smiling, laughing, taking pictures, clinking glasses, and enjoying herself as if she had no child waiting at home. That night, she returned and dropped several shopping bags on the couch. Baby, look, she said excitedly. I bought new clothes, new shoes, and a phone. He looked at her gently. Okay, she frowned. You're not excited. See, Anita, I'm just tired. He replied. Well, try to be happy for me, she said sharply. I worked hard to look this good. He looked at her quietly. She didn't work. She didn't take care of the baby. She didn't do chores. She didn't manage the house. But he didn't say anything. He simply rocked the baby to sleep and whispered, I'm here. I'm here, baby.